Today's video is on plot. Plot is anything that happens in the movie. They also need to logically connect to one another. Any chain of events that connect together can be considered a plot. Good plots are based around logic and the connections between events. When something happens, there is some sort of result of that thing. Most plots follow the 3-act formation, but there's also movies with more acts, which usually are just smaller acts inside the 3-act formation. For example, the 5-act structure will usually have more setup and a following action. To help understand plot easier, it will be beneficial to look at a movie and the plot of the movie as I explain each plot point. For this example, I'm going to use the movie The Greatest Showman, which is an excellent movie, and which I will be spoiling as I explain this plot. Act 1 is used for exposition. This could be setup of character, setting, background, theme, and any additional information that would be important for the film. In our example, we see this boy working for his father and living very poorly. His father dies, and now he is even poorer, and now stealing to get by. We see that the movie is in New York City in the mid-1900s. Then he marries this girl he met when he was young and is from a rich family. They have 2 daughters and live not too great, with no financial support accepted from her father and not a great job. Act 2. This is the majority of the film and the middle of the movies. The first point in Act 2 is the inciting incident. This is usually something negative that directly affects the main character. In our example, we see that he gets laid off because the company goes bankrupt. The next part is the rising action. This is when the main character will begin to build up or begin to do something that will be helpful to them in some way. In The Greatest Showman, he gathers people to perform in a circus and becomes successful and begins to acquire wealth and expands his horizons, particularly in presenting Jenny Lind. Technically, the final point of Act 2 is the crisis. This is technically in between 2 and 3. This is when the main character would run into some sort of barrier or challenge. That is when the main character will have to overcome. This is generally when the 2 main characters will have a fight or something and leave each other. In The Greatest Showman, the crisis is when his circus building gets burned down and Jenny Lind kisses him for the newspaper. Act 3. The first part of the final act is the climax. This is when the events of the movie all come together and result in some final action from the main plot. This could be the protagonists overcoming their main issues, or them completing the tasks that they have set out to accomplish the whole film. In The Greatest Showman, this is when Philip reveals that he's been saving money and now they can reboot their circus with that money. Falling action. This is showing us that things are returning to normal, with some changes due to the previous acts in the movie. This could be showing how normal life is better or different somehow, or showing changes made in the main character, usually showing some sort of before and after. In The Greatest Showman, this is showing the new show rebooted in a circus tent, still with all the glory and beauty of the previous shows, just in a different setting, and without the focus of trying to build up from nothing. Resolution is the last scenes in the movie, displaying some sort of closure to the movie. This could be the characters in a happy gathering, showing us that their life is good, and they have made and found so much since the beginning of the film. In The Greatest Showman, this is when P.T. gives the ringmaster hat to Philip, saying that he is retiring and has made the life he wanted. Then he goes and is happy with his family.